Hey, what is up, everybody? It's time for another little video from Dev Typhoon showing you some progress. So we'll get right into it this week. We had some fun stuff, some things that just make the game feel a little better. So first of all, I wanted to go back over my walking animation. Every time that I walk in the game, I'm like, it just doesn't feel right. So I wanted to make it a little more like bendy. I mean, the arms were kind of stiff before, the legs didn't really bend far back, and so I wanted to add a little more realism to it, I guess, if that makes any sense. So I went through the animation and I redid a little bit of it, adjusted those limbs a little more so that the calves would come up a little more and there'd be more bend at the elbow, as well as I added just a small twist to the torso, just to make it look like, you naturally twist a little bit when you're walking or running. So it makes it look just a little cleaner as every time that I demo the game. I see this animation, so I wanted to make it just look a little bit cleaner, so it looks a little nicer now, and I'm happy with how it turned out for now. I might make small adjustments later on. That's what game development's all about, is making little adjustments to make things a little cleaner. I also tried to make the jump animation a little better, and I gave up after a few seconds because I was like, I'm not feeling the jump, and I'm not sure how to fix that one yet. So I'm going to get to that hurdle later on. It doesn't look great, but it'll do. Then I went back into Unity and I started adding some of the hitboxes to some of the models I've been working on recently, so that you can actually jump on them and run into them, and to make them a little more interactive as a decoration in the game. So I just took some time to do that, and then I started kind of spreading some out too. So I added little decorations, you'll see, and I got a little gameplay video at the end of this one. It's short, but you see some of these things in the background on the sides. Makes it feel a little more real, makes it look more like a game instead of just a little test area. So I'm really happy with that I've got some more assets to work with in the game itself. So and you see here, I'm just kind of scattering things around, making it look like there's inhabitants, which there are going to be, because of course there's going to be bad guys, and they're going to be walking around these ruins, and you got to be ready to fight them anytime. So there should be stuff there. So we're getting towards there. I liked making this little camp too. These will be scattered out in different variations, and they'll have usually bad guys, maybe 2 or 3 smaller versions, and then like a boss or a major bad guy or whatever you want to call it at these little camps. So, but I thought it turned out it looked all right. A couple tents and a hunt, as well as some boxes. Excuse me, I'm a little sick today. But overall, I'm pleased with how that looks. But I did want to add a little bit of fire to it, give it a little spark of life. And so I went back into the particle effects to try to round me up a little fire here. And it took a little bit of time adjusting some things. I haven't actually done a fire before, and so I was hoping that this would be, this would work. And so I just made a really small cone facing upwards, and just shot a whole bunch of particles at the same time, straight up from the fire. That way it has the effect of kind of the movement of a flame going back and forth, and kind of make it look cool. I did have to upgrade the size a little bit, and just kind of mess around with some of the settings of the particle effects to make it look decent, and it did. For my first time working on a fire from a particle effect, I think it turned out alright, so I can't complain with that. I tried to adjust the colors a little bit to try to get a little bit of a base that's a little whiter, and then kind of turn red as it goes up, but I kind of gave up after that for a second. I just left it red. I think it just looked too complex without that. So then after I added a few more decorations, I was ready to work on something else too. There's something that's been bugging me since the start, is that the character's just too slow, and I didn't really want to speed him up, his natural thing. So of course you have to add a run at some point. So I finally sat down and took the time to make a run animation. So once again I went back into Blender and reanimated again to make him a little faster so you can get around the island. It's a pretty decent sized island. It's nothing huge, but it's enough that you need a little run time. And so I animated this run. I based it off my walk. I made the leg movements more exaggerated, made the arm movements more exaggerated, as well as I added a little bit of a bend on his back, so he curves his back a little more to simulate him kind of leaning into his run. And overall, it turned out all right. The running was fine. I guess I can't complain too much about that. I like my walking though. I might come back and tweak it again. But for now, it works pretty well. And so just to code that in, I went back into my input manager. I added a new input using the left bumper. When you hold that, it'll turn on the bool to run, which tells my movement script that I don't want it to walk. I don't want to play the walk animation. I want to play the run animation, as well as I tweaked kind of some of the transitions between my animations so that it would go smoothly from walk to run. And so here, this last bit, I just got to show you. Here's the fire. A little small. I might make it a little bit bigger, but it looks decent. You can tell what it is, and I'm happy with that. And then finally, of course, the speed test here. 3, 2, 1, go! So here we go. We're running. We're moving a lot faster now. I can clear a lot more distance. This is gonna make it easier to play test. This is gonna make it, it feels a little more real since you can run instead of just moving the same speed the whole time. And I think the transition between walking and running turned out all right. So overall, we're making some progress in the game. It's been a really good week. I've been able to get the 2 videos out this week. This is still one of my favorite things, is being able to jump from tree to tree. I'm definitely gonna keep that in somehow. But it's great. Things are going well, and we'll have another video out this next Tuesday. So stay tuned, and thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it.